What's up, YouTube? My name is J Max. As you can see, it's just me. And I'm back to react to another one of your recommendations. What do we have on deck today? Tim Minchin. Let's go.
Yo.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you've been here before, this is your first time, it's nice to meet you. My name is J Max. I'm just a guy on the internet who really enjoys music and will listen to basically whatever you tell me to. Today we are jumping into some more Tim Minchin. I am so enjoying these musical comedy songs and the way that they are just making me think about things. And this one is one that came highly recommended from you guys, so I'm really excited to check this one out. This is Tim Minchin, Thank You God. I believe this is the one with the Sydney Symphony, the orchestra. So I'm very excited to see what this sounds like. I've gained so much respect for Tim Minchin in only the two things that I have seen from him so far, and the things that you guys have let me know about him, about his career, about what he's been able to do and grow for himself is incredible. I mean, this dude is an amazing pianist, and the fact that someone said that he's a self-taught pianist, and I have so much respect for that. The piano is something that I've always wanted to play. I've always been told that I have piano fingers because my fingers are really long, because, you know, when you're 6'6", you tend to have some long hands sometimes. But yeah, I have so much respect for Tim, and I'm really excited to see what this is all about. This one came highly recommended by so many of you, and I really appreciate you guys watching and commenting and letting me know some other Tim Minchin stuff. So please continue to do so, because I super appreciate it, and I really want to see, or, you know, give you guys stuff that you enjoy watching, and I just want to continue this. And I'm going on a rant, and I'm going to shut up and just listen to this song now. So let's listen to Thank You God by Tim Minchin.
Sorry, I'm procrastinating. Look,
I was procrastinating too.
I kind of need to address, and I should do it. I know I should do it now. Over the years, I've realized that a lot of my audience has come to my shows, particularly because of sometimes because I quite often sing about beliefs. Specifically, in the past, I've sung a lot about faith and religion, and if I'm completely honest with you, I've tended to mock some of the, not in general, but some of the perceived hypocrisies. But I just don't want anyone to be waiting for that, because I'm not doing it anymore. Well, I know it's. Look, I should. You've earned an explanation. You're right.
He's so good at setting up the crowd, I feel like. So I'm just, if anything, I can't trust him. I can't trust him. I don't know where this is going. I never know where these things are going, and I'm.
Something happened to me. You see.
What happened, Tim?
When I was touring my last show in Australia, it was the beginning of last year, and I was doing a gig, not one of my gigs. It was it was actually a new material night, hosted by the Ross Noble, you know, the long-haired mentally ill northerner, and.
I don't know who that is.
Obviously.
But he's mentally ill.
Which is a mentally ill person with an audience.
You say a genius is just a mentally ill person with an audience? That's an interesting take.
Genius, which is a mentally ill person with an audience. He's beautiful. He's you know Ross, he's the best, and he does this amazing gig, and we were having a drink afterwards, and it was a really nice vibe in the bar, but I noticed this dude who slightly uncomfortably was hovering sort of on the periphery of our group, and I noticed in particular his tall, really handsome guy had those nice dreadlocks that you can get for about 600 quid at hairdresser.
But I'm tall.
Had a shirt open to about here, and it's very tan.
Suave.
Particularly because he had a long silver chain, and hanging on the end of the chain, a quite prominent silver cross. You know, the sort of cross you might wear if you're a fan of intersections.
What?
or the lowercase letter T. or probably most commonly if you're a fan of the apparatus by which first century Romans put to death and tortured Jewish insurgents. And anyway.
Ooh, damn. He really called out Jesus pieces. He called out the whole culture of wearing crosses as necklaces. Tim, you feel some kind of way about that?
That's by which first century Romans put to death and tortured Jewish insurgents. And anyway, he was sort of standing there, and eventually he made the move, and he came over. It's a lovely, polite guy. He said, "Hi, g'day, I'm Sam." His name is Sam. He said, "I'm from Dandenong." He was from Dandenong, which is the suburb of Dandenong, set in the Dandenong Ranges, just to the southeast of Melbourne. And we got talking, but I could tell he wanted to talk to me, and eventually he managed to kind of, isolate me from the...
He's so good at storytelling. I'm sorry, I know I'm pausing it a lot, but he's so good at, like, this is very encapsulating. He's very good at telling stories. I'm really having fun with this. I also just love the Australian accent, so this is like... really enjoying this.
I could tell he wanted to talk to me, and eventually he managed to kind of, isolate me from the pack. And he said, "Tim, I've always wanted to talk to you because I'm a fan of your work, and I don't want you to think I'm offended or anything, but as you might have noticed, I'm a Christian. And he said, I've always wanted to ask you why you don't believe in God." And I said, "Well, Sam, I don't believe in God for the same reason that anyone that doesn't believe in a thing doesn't believe in it, because I haven't yet been offered enough evidence to allay my doubts."
That's
And
fair.
he said, "But you don't just go through your whole life only believing things for which you have evidence."
No?
And I said, well, that's pretty much how I stutter my way through my turgid existence, yeah. And he said, "What about love?" And I said, "Well, what about love, Sam?" And he said, "Do you believe in love?" And I said, "Yeah, I believe in love. I think I love. I am loved." Sure. And he said, "Aha! You don't have any evidence for love." And I said, I think, yeah, I've got evidence. Sure. I mean, love without evidence is stalking.
Facts. That's so
And
real.
he said, "Well, Tim, if it's evidence you want, how about this?" And he told me this story, this incredible story about his mum. You see, Sam and his mother were members of a big evangelical church congregation in the Dandenongs.
The
one of those
evangelicals.
new glassy type ones. And in her early 60s, Sam's mum had gone to the doctor with a problem with her eye, and he had diagnosed an irreversible degenerative eye disorder. And he told her that if she didn't get surgery very quickly, that she would lose her eyesight. And Sam's mum was afraid. She didn't believe in modern medicine. She didn't trust doctors. She was afraid of hospitals and the idea of surgery. But Sam and his mum went to this church, this incredible church. And that Sunday, the entire congregation of their church, some 1,700 people, prayed
Oh boy.
at the same time.
Here we go.
For Sam's mum. And the following Tuesday, they went back to the doctor, and there was no sign that there'd ever been anything wrong with her eyes. She was healed. She was cured. And the reason this story had an impact on me is because I try to be intellectually honest with others and with myself, and all I've ever asked for is evidence. And here I was witnessing a first-person account of what can only be described as a miracle.
Before he jumps into the song, like, what do you guys think about prayer and the effects of prayer? Personally, I did not really grow up religiously. I grew up with extremely religious family members who used to tell me to pray for things and God will supply them, essentially. I have never quite subscribed to that ideology personally. I kind of have the mindset and the opinion that at the end of the day, if you boil it down, prayer is essentially supposed to be like a meditation that has just turned into somewhat sort of a narcissistic, please, I want this, make it happen type of a thing. But that's neither here nor there. But let me know what you guys think about prayer.
So I went home and I wrote this song. I have an apology to make. I'm afraid I've made a big mistake. I turned my face away from you, Lord. I was too blind to see the light. I was too meek to feel your might. I closed my eyes, I couldn't see the truth, Lord. But But then like Saul on the Damascus road, you sent a messenger to me, and so now I've had the truth revealed to me. Please forgive me all those things I said. I'll no longer betray you, Lord. I will pray to you instead, and I will say thank you, thank you, thank you, God. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for fixing the cataracts of Sam's mom. I had no idea, but it's suddenly so clear. Now I feel such a cynic. How could I have been so dumb? Thank you for displaying how praying works. A particular prayer in a particular church.
Oh,
Thank you, Sam, for the chance to acknowledge this omnipotent ophthalmologist.
Oh, omnipotent ophthalmologist. So I really like this beat switch. It went from like this, it was going to feel very, I was going to say serious, but I don't know, maybe, I don't know. But then it just kind of turned boppy and, yeah, like I was saying about the prayer. I don't know. Anyways, let's see if I
Stand
can
for
do
the
it.
chance to acknowledge this omnipotent ophthalmologist. Thank you, God, for fixing the cataracts of Sam's mom. I didn't realize that it was so simple, but you've shown a great example of just how it can be done. You only need to pray in a particular spot to
Yep.
a particular version of a particular God. And if you pull that off without a hitch, he will fix one eye of one middle-class white bitch.
Oh!
I know.
See what I'm saying? It just feels so narcissistic. It just feels like, I prayed for this and God gave it to me. So believe in God. Why? I mean, I'm good for you for believing in that. Like, I really appreciate and respect anybody who's super religious and believes in whatever it is that you want to believe in, whether it's God, whether it's Buddha, whether it's Allah, whether it's karma, whether it's whatever the fuck, manifestation. I don't care. Whatever you believe in, like, that's fine. Don't push your shit onto me if I don't believe in your shit. That is your shit. This is gonna make me rant.
He will fix one eye of one middle-class white bitch. I know in the past my outlook has been limited. I couldn't see examples of where life had been definitive, but I can admit it when the evidence is clear as Sam's mom's new cornea. That's extremely clear. Thank you, God, for fixing the cataracts of Sam's mom. I have to admit that in the past I have been skeptical, but Sam described this miracle and I am overcome. How fitting that the sighting of a sight-based intervention should open my eyes to this exciting new dimension. It's like someone put an eye chart up in front of me and the top 5 letters say ICGOD. Thank you, Sam, for showing how my point of view has been so flawed. I assumed there was no God at all, but now I see that cynical. It's simply that his interests aren't particularly broad. He's largely undiverted by the starving masses, or the inequality between the various classes. He gives out strictly limited passes, redeemable for surgery or 2-for-1 glasses.
He's making such good points. Oh my gosh, he's making such good points. I'm going to keep going back to this whole prayer is narcissistic, in my opinion thing. Again, this is just my opinion. Whatever you think about prayer, fantastic. I love it. If you think it's whatever, I'm not here to argue about it, but it just feels, I feel some type of way about this, man. It's like, cool. Yeah. You prayed for your thing. When have you prayed for all the other things? What about the starving people in the world, the people that don't have access to food like a lot of us in Western society have, or the different classes? I mean, I can go 30 minutes down the road and be in a completely different city than what I'm in now and have it feel such different than where I am now. And it's like, are those people not praying? Do they have to go somewhere else? Like he said, you got to pray in a particular spot in a particular church with 17,000 people, and the pastor is probably a multimillionaire flying around in a private jet. Did I say that?
Limited passes, redeemable for surgery or 2-for-1 glasses. I I feel so shocking for historically mocking you. Your interests are clearly confined to the ocular. I bet given the chance, you'd eschew the divine and start a little business selling contacts online.
Ooh.
Fuck me, Sam. What are the odds that of history's endless parade of gods, that the God you just happen to be taught to believe in is the actual God? And he digs on healing, but not the AIDS-ridden African nations, nor the victims of the plague, nor the flood-addled Asians, but healthy, privately insured Australians with common incurable lens degeneration. The story of Sam's is but a single explanation, a surgical God who digs on magic operations. No, it couldn't be mistaken, attribution of causation, born of a coincidental temporal correlation, exacerbated by a general lack of education vis-a-vis physics in Sam's pious congregation. It couldn't be that all these pious people are liars. It couldn't be an artifact of confirmation bias, a product of groupthink, a mass delusion, an emperor's new clothes style, fear of exclusion. No, it's more likely to be an all-powerful magician than
This dude is, he is really getting into my head right now. Because it's like, me and religion have a very interesting history together, and a lot of what he is saying is a lot of how I feel about it. And again, I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm not saying that you shouldn't believe in it. All I think personally for me, and when it comes to people who are extremely religious like Sam in this story, keep it to yourself, man. That's great. It's great if you have that in your life and it makes you happy and it brings you all the things that you say it brings you. That's fantastic. Keep it to yourself. Just don't push it on people and belittle people for not believing or not following your groupthink, like he said, and just believing in this book. It's a book at the end of the day. It is a book.
new clothes style, fear of exclusion. No, it's more likely to be an all-powerful magician than the misdiagnosis of the initial condition, or one of many cases of spontaneous remission, or a record-keeping glitch by the local physician. No, the only explanation for Sam's mum's scene, they prayed to an all-knowing super being, to the omnipresent master of the universe, and he liked the sound of their muttered verse. So for a bit of a change from his usual stunt of being a sexist, racist, murderous cunt, he popped down to Dandenong and just like that used his powers to heal the cataracts of Sam's mom. Of Sam's mom. Oh, thank you God for fixing the cataracts of Sam's mom. I didn't realize that it was such a simple thing. I feel such a ding-a-ling, what ignorant scum. Now I understand a prayer can work, a particular prayer in a particular church, in a particular style, with a particular stuff, and for particular problems that are particularly tough, and for particular people, preferably white, for particular senses, preferably sight, a particular prayer in a particular spot, to a particular version of a particular God. And if you get that right, he just might take a break from giving babies malaria and pop down to your local area to fix the cataracts of your mom.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow.
It's a miracle.
It's a miracle. Truly, it's a miracle. Well, Tim mentioned, man, you did it again. You truly did it again. This was, if I can encapsulate my feelings about religion into musical form, this probably would have been it. I mean, it's, everything that he said is basically how I feel about it, and I don't want to beat another dead horse because I feel like I've said the same things over and over and over again, but I don't think that it is only prayer that falls into these categories. I think it's people, when something happens inexplicably in their life that they just can't come up with a logical, reasonable explanation for, that they just assume it was religion, it was God, it was an angel, it was whomever. I think whatever religion that they grew up with and that they were surrounded by in their childhood is ultimately what they fall back on as an explanation for the unexplainable. And I have instances of that in my own family where, You know, I've had family members that grew up and their parents were really big into the church. You know, their moms sang in choirs or whatever the case may be. And then they have this experience in their life that they just don't have an explanation for. And so, oh, it must have been God. Look at what God did. Okay, if that's what you want to believe. Sure, that's fine. I'm not going to argue with that. And that's, I think at the end of the day, you can't argue with people like that. I think you just have to let them be happy. You know, there's no, in my personal opinion, there's no sense in bursting that bubble for them. There's no sense in just trying to fight it, because at the end of the day, their argument or their rebuttal to anything that you say is going to be, well, it was God. Well, it was just God did it. There's nothing else that you can tell them, because they will always rebuttal with, well, it's God. God works in mysterious ways, is what they will say, and what I've heard so many times. And like I've said before, you know, if you're religious, fantastic. I love that you are religious. I love that you have that in your life. I think everybody needs something that they believe in deep down in their core, whether it's religion, whether it's Darwinism, whether it's the theory of evolution, aka Darwinism, or it's like whatever, you know, like believe in whatever you want to believe in, subscribe to whatever you want to subscribe to. Who is anybody to tell you that what you believe in is wrong or false? And that's a lesson that I think a lot of extreme religious individuals just have never learned and don't know. They just don't know how to let people live, and you know, they just feel like they have to force and convert everybody to believe in what they want to believe in. And we've seen that in the past with these crusades and these people running across Europe and all these different countries in the name of God and killing people who didn't believe in him, and whatever the case might be. It's religion and humanity have a deep-rooted history that is not going to go anywhere. It will always be here. It is why these pastors of these mega churches make so much money, because they deliver this message in a way that gets people to believe in them and donate to them and fund their message and their mission that God has given them. And that's all good and well. Who am I to tell you how to spend your money? Spend your money however you want to. But just leave me out of it. Don't say I'm going to hell because I don't believe. Just leave me alone, man. Just leave me alone at the end of the day. Tim, you did it again, man. You did it again. And he's going to keep doing it again. I have so much more Tim Minchin stuff that I'm going to be getting into. I've thoroughly enjoyed everything that I've listened to from him thus far. And I'm going to be jumping into so much more from him. So please make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of these Tim Minchin reaction videos. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts down below. I really, really, really want to have a conversation with a lot of you guys. I'm not going to judge anybody for your beliefs and for your thoughts. I just want to hear what you thought about this and how did it make you feel? What are the emotions that went through your mind when you first heard this? What are some breakdowns that you have that I might have missed, or some things that, interpretations of this song that, just immediately went through your head? I love breaking this kind of stuff down. I love thinking philosophically. I love having people challenge my own mindset so that I can think outside of my own box. And I really, really hope that I can do that with you guys about this one. This one was a lot of fun. This one was definitely, I think, one of my favorites that I've heard from him thus far. We'll just see what the next one brings. So, like I said before, subscribe to the channel for more Tim Minchin. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.